all right, chat. All right, we're starting now. Starting now. I just gotta see myself. You know what I mean? Oh, you think my dad like clicked on this? Think he clicked on this? He saw me. Tester. Right here. Oh, you think my dad? Like he clicked on. Oh, yeah. I just gotta put this in mute right now. For now, for now. But check it out, yo. Check it out. Check it out. As you can see, it's a whole different day. When you But check it out though. I'm submitting an offer right now as we speak for this house in Kearney, New Jersey. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, they listed this house in February for 975. I kind of did the same mistake. I'm not gonna lie. Even I did a harsher mistake than that. I listed a property in Fairview because I didn't know what I was doing. This is my first property I had. I listed my property in Fairview, two family that's literally worth like half the price, maybe a little bit more than half. $1.2 million. What the hell was I thinking, bro? That's what happens when you are just new to this real estate game. You don't do any research. It's like, yo, bro, I'm just trying to get the listing. I'm just trying to get the listing. That's what happens. You just end up doing some bullshit where you say, hey, look, I have a listing here in Fairview, and the seller looks like they want 1.2 million. I'm gonna trust the seller. No, bro, I did not do no research at all. You know what I mean? No research at all. You know how much damage that did? It took like almost probably a year plus just to sell it, but thank God the sellers were lenient with me. They understood. I'm new, young, dumb. You know what I mean? I was new, and we were happy with their. Now they're in Ecuador. The sellers are now in Ecuador. You see what I did? Yeah, I messed up, but God gave me a second chance, and they gave me a whole year to sell this. A whole like plus we kept renewing the contract, and we're thinking. I was thinking in the back of my head like, "Yo, I don't think this property is ever gonna sell. We might have to lower the price." And then boom, out of nowhere on Valentine's Day, these two brothers they like the house, they see it, they put in an offer. And at that point, we changed the price. You're like, "Yo," I told them, "Hey, look, I don't think it's ever gonna sell for 1 by 2 minutes. So here's some comparables." So I showed them one that was a couple blocks away. It sold for like 825, and bro, these beautiful people. I was about to curse. These beautiful people came in. They liked the house and everything. Obviously, the first floor is way bigger than the second and basement. Like they decided to put an offer for 835, and I had it listed for 849. You know how much of a leap that is? Most people, when they see a house like listed for 6 months or 6 months plus, and they see like, oh, it's been listed for 835 and it hasn't sold, no movement or anything, no on the contract, anything for 6 months. Hey, let me lowball this person because I know they're desperate to sell. Let me lowball them and get them at 700. But hey, man, glory be to God. These people, they offered 835. And you might be thinking, hey, they overpaid. That is not my problem. That is not my job at all. My job is to represent the seller, not the buyer. All right? That is your job in real estate. You got to be a selfish, conniving little shit. That's what you got to be, a selfish, conniving little shit. You got to put on your all good face mask. But at the end of the day, you're a selfish, conniving little shit. That's the truth. That is 100% the truth when it comes to real estate. Like right now, I'm supposed to be submitting an offer, but I have some free time and I could stream, no interruptions at all. Just my little doggy dog here. I don't know where he's at. Just my little doggy dog here. And I love this new setup that I got. It looks so cool. Like it looks like I'm in the future. It looks like I'm in the quantum realm of Ant-Man. You know what that means? I know you nerds get me. And I saw this other house. It was listed for like 675. It was listed for 675. And bro, it was so nice, like split level. It had like 4 bedrooms. Well, it didn't consider the bedroom in the basement another bedroom, but that's another bedroom. So legally, he had 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1 half bath. and oh my god, it had a pool, like in-ground pool, going from 4 feet all the way down to 9 feet. You could dive your ass into the fucking pool. You could dive into the pool, and check it out though. The best part is the main selling point about this house is the view. Once you look upon your backyard, when you're washing your dishes, because the kitchen is situated in the back of the house, and then there's a nice big window. You're washing your dishes, and the only view you get is you're on top of the hill in North Arlington, and you see the New York skyline. That's your view. That's what you wake up to on the sunrise. That's what you wake up to in the morning. You wake up like a millionaire, paying like average residential prices, which are not average residential prices. Look at the average home price 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it's no more than 500,000. Now it's over five. What the hell happened? I'll tell you what happened. The Federal Reserve, which is not a government agency, let's just say it's just printing out money, and also government policies and all that. And A, when money is cheap to borrow, there's usually some kind of dumb thing that's happening, so people don't pay attention. So the people that know, they take advantage of that. Yeah, look at the people that had their they bought houses during COVID in 2020. They have loans. They have loans. 2%. You know how much 2% interest is? It's like almost nothing. They have 2% loans. That's like saying, bro, I got a $6 bag of Takis for the price of what it was in 2016. It was $3. You know how lucky you gotta be to buy that house at that time? You're like, hey man, I think it's time to buy a house while everyone is going to hell in this crappy COVID system. They were smart. They were smart. Not everyone. I saw my I saw an alleged customer. They have pre-approval, and I saw their interest rate six, a little bit over six. I'm like, damn, that's tough. 6 years ago, it would have been one third of that, literally less than one third of that. But now we gotta deal with these high 6% interest rates. But bro, check it out. My mentor, he found how for him that's like nothing, bro, because he's always looking for good deals. He don't care about the interest rate. He doesn't. He knows how to bypass the interest rate and just make good money like that. Because he told me, and then in the 70s and 80s when interest rates were like 13, over 10%, he still bought the house. He's like, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. This guy knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He had the chosen people mentoring him. That's why he's such a good guy in the business. In the business. But then everywhere else, like when you go renting out his apartment, trying to collect rent, he seems like a douchebag scumbag that only cares about himself. But let's be honest, that's how the world rewards people. The douchebags and scumbags that only care about themselves. Because you give out what you get. That's how it is. It's a world of reflections. Exactly like what Plato said. You cannot tell me that the window that you see outside through is a reflection of what you see in yourself. You understand what I mean? Like, let's say your dad is here. Your dad is here, and he keeps yelling you to do shit like that. And like, do this, make your life better like this. Get yourself in order. In reality, you kind of like hate him and judge him for that. But since it's a world of reflections, that that you hate him for saying that because you don't want to accept that in yourself. That's the truth. That's 100% honestly the truth, and that's why you need Christ. Because how are you gonna love someone you hate? How are you gonna love someone you hate? Only through the Christ impulse is how you love someone that you hate. You gotta love. Jesus said, "Love your enemies," and I really like hate preaching like one of those Protestant Christian, gay Christians. Like, bro, I'm just here trying to make money, bro. I don't care about your pathetic losing faith because your prayers are not working. They're not working at all. You know when your prayers work? When you ritualize the prayer. And I'm not saying like do like a whole satanic pentagram circle around your bed and everything. No, 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 bro. I'm saying like, hey, you gotta get into you're slowly stepping into the realm of the prayer. Like let's say before your prayer, you do a little exercise, you walk your dog, and why the hell is this alarm sounding off? You walk your dog, whatever, and then as like symbolically you cleanse your soul, you take a good, nice and restful shower in hot water. And then once you get back, you don't use your phone for an hour before bed. You don't use your phone for an hour before bed. So an hour once it's like an hour before you gotta go your bedtime, you drop your phone, power it off, and then you start getting into the rhythm of to hey, I wanna. Alarm just sounded off, but you just started to get in the rhythm like, hey, look, I'm about to get into my prayer. So you turn the phone off, you start walking your dog, you walk him back in, you clean his feet and everything, you prepare your clothes, you you start getting a little orderly. Like let's say you organize your room a little bit and then you take a nice hot shower. Because then like one is relax the body and all of that and your muscles. So once you get out the shower you feel nice and fresh and relieved. And right before you go to pray, you just sit there in silence for a little bit and then you hear your prayer. And then you hear your prayer. That's how you do it, bro. You don't just, hey, look, I'm gonna just wake up and pray. Well, that is true. If you have nothing in your mind, that's the best time to pray. When you have nothing on your mind, you're just in your most silence, and your body naturally knows what time to wake up. Like if you have an intention of what to do the next day, your body knows. It knows subconsciously what time you gotta wake up to master the day. Like for example, I wanted to wake up today 8 o'clock, and I told myself that the night before, and I woke up 8 o'clock. I was lazy. I went back to sleep. And I had a dream where I was craving McDonald's, and that's why, because I wasn't eating McDonald's. It's unfulfilled wishes, Sigmund Freud, and all that shit. But the point was that I wanted to show that I wanted to move into this realm of being productive, and not skipping a single bit of time where I let my dreams die off. Because one of my dreams is I'm literally doing it right now. I'm streaming. I'm gonna be famous. Mark my fucking words. I am gonna be famous. I cannot be a slow, pathetic loser. I cannot. I literally cannot. I see everyone around in these pilgrimages that I go to. I'm like, yo, bro, yeah, you have your job and everything, but you're still a pathetic loser. You're not an owner. You're not a boss of your own job. That's why they call it a job. Because you're just a job. They tell you what to do like a little golden retriever. That's what it is. Judging others' businesses. That's what a job is. You judge others' businesses. Because you don't mind your own business when you have a job. You're always worried about everybody else. You're not worried about yourself when you have a job. To be honest, when you have your own business and worried about yourself and your own self development, spiritual development, you don't give a shit about anybody else. Not even your parents. Not even your parents or your brother. And that seems so fucking narcissistic. But the fact that you only give a shit about yourself in your 20s, it actually feels more rewarding to your parents than for you actually going out and getting a job and doing the natural gay societal way of living life. Because you're doing your shit on your own. You're actually becoming part of an adult and you're dating a girlfriend here and there, da 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 da. And parents see, oh look, my son is getting a little bit more life experience. He's not doing cocaine anymore. He's taking the role of a he's implementing the father archetype within himself by being in control, by being schedulized, by being organized, taking care of a female daughter type. Your parents feel, they don't sleep with that much anxiety as they did before. But now that you're a pathetic fucking loser, you have your job and you're going every single weekend and doing coke and blowing fucking hookers, they're anxious as fuck. They don't give a shit about your job. They just want you to feel like in the rhythm of life where your prayer is going good, your life is going good. You don't live with constant anger in your head. You don't live with constant anger in your head. And scripture is a cheat code. Scripture is literally a cheat code because you don't understand. Over 2,000 years, this book has never been disproven. This book has never been disproven. The Quran's been disproven. Torah, the Talmud. Oh no, don't get me started with that. I'll get banned. But over 2,000 years, this book has never been debunked. And people want to say, "Oh, look, Jesus said this, this, and that, and Jesus said this and that," and they contradict. Bro, you're trying to take the extraordinary cases and implement it as the norm. How are you gonna take the top 1% and implement it to the rest of the 99%? You can't do that. You can't do that. Like the story of the particle son, where he goes off and sins a whole fuck ton, and then he comes back and he regrets it, and his father accepts him with all fatherly love. That can't happen for everybody in the world unless the whole world would literally collapse. There has to be people where there's people that go on a soft spiritual development where little by little they progress over time and they become like this adult, and there's people that just like go deep to their deepest hell and they end up in jail and locked up. But then they go back up and they just boom shoot up like a bamboo stick in China. Once they're like what 5 years underground, their all their grinding pays off after they've been locked up because they've been begging for so much law and order. They got their law and order 5 years. Now boom, they're going up spiritually, mentally, everything, physically, materialistically. And let's be honest, women are materialistic. Women are materialistic. One in the chat, you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing and say that women are not materialistic. I've literally seen it with my eyes. I've literally seen it, lived it with my eyes, and nobody else is gonna understand a woman. Thank God. That sounded cringe. I'm not gonna lie. That sounded cringe as fuck. But I don't want to talk about God without like too much experience. Yeah, I have like probably like 1%, 2% spiritual experiences. What I really want to talk about God is like when I'm like what, like 50s, 60s, where like I'm a genius at that point. Right now I'm like 2% of my genius level. Let's be honest. I'm at 2%. Once I'm like 25, 28, Saturn's return, bro, I'm gonna be more than 33% of my genius level. I'm gonna be like Ecuadorian male version of Lucy. You seen that movie where this bitch Scarlett Johansson just starts to obliterate everyone and uses 100% of her brain? I want to know what that feels like. Where I can just unlock these new thousands of neural pathways in my brain and just start dominating everyone. And start saying, hey, look, you're a fucking loser. You're dumb. You're a bitch. Here's how you succeed in life. And then I make other people unlock neural ways in their brain. You understand? It's like when you open up a fresh bag of Takis and you take the first crunch. It's like, I love the spiciness and all that. Then you get addicted to it. You get addicted to the Takis and it gets a little fatter, fatter, fatter. That's how life goes, let's be honest. You try that little weed drug, the gay drug, then it starts getting more progressive. You start mixing alcohol. Oh, look, here's a little bit of Molly, and then here's a line of Coke. Here's some ketamine. Hey, let's take some GHB, ecstasy, whatever. And then boom, you're just dead. You're dead. Who wants that? Nobody wants that. Not even your parents, bro. Not even your parents. But I honestly gotta do a little bit more scheduling on my streams. I'm just doing this. I could watch it back. I could watch it back and see that, hey, bro, I'm not letting a single piece of dead air just go through my words. I want to obliterate every fucking streamer and scan, scan, scan myself like like I'm in Call of Duty. I'm scanning the UAV and analyzing every single bit of word that comes out of my mouth, my beautiful angelic voice mouth. But check it out though. Look at my face. I look so fucking beautiful, bro. Who who came up with this? God did, because one of the attributes of God is beauty. And let's be honest, God must be the most beautiful thing in the world, in the universe, and everything. Oh, and when your life is going wrong, God must have the biggest sense of humor ever. The biggest sense of humor. That's what God is. The biggest sense of humor. It's like I guess if you were to get a taste of God's humor, I feel like you'll die because you'll be laughing too much to the point where you can't breathe. Like, oh, I can't breathe. I got the cop's knee on my neck, and then you're like George Floyd. Oh, whatever. And you can't breathe, and you just die out of laughter. Can you imagine that just dying out of laughter? I feel like that's what 1% of God's humor would do to you. We can't even fathom or handle that. One in the chat. One in the chat.